Here it is, in all of its glory. The Lucifer reprint. Alright, let's give this sucker a read. It was beautiful. For those of you that don't know, there is a Lucifer TV show as well. It's based off a comic book. I actually started watching the television show before I started the comic book. Here's a clip from the show.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Sorry?
Please don't hurt me.
Why does everyone say that before?
In the comic book, much like the show, we see Lucifer Morningstar, aka the Devil, take a break from hell and leave to Los Angeles and open up a bar. In the show, there is a plethora of characters, and in the comic book, there isn't as many. Granted, this is only the first issue, but so far we've seen Mazikeen, Lucifer, and Amenadiel. The comic immediately opens on that cliche, everything is dark but turns to light all of a sudden. Not saying I hate it, but I think it's used often. And then we seem to have a moody teen with a brother and a father. The mother hasn't been brought into the picture just yet at this point, but maybe we'll see her later down the road. And now we have the classic, may I help you or get you anything else? No, I want to speak with your boss. And can you guess who that boss is? You got it, Lucifer Morningstar. As far as looks goes, they're not too far apart. Tom Ellis, who plays Lucifer in the Fox television show, has darker hair, while the one in the comic book has blonde hair. They both have a very, very good sense of style, and they both play piano and sing.
Oh, Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Where you gonna run to all along them days?
Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Then we have Amenadiel coming to Lucifer like he does in the show, not requesting his presence back to the underworld, but asking him for a favor. We get just a tad bit of that Lucifer sense of humor that I thoroughly enjoyed throughout the 3 seasons of the show. The 2 other characters that are in this comic book that are from the show are Mazikeen and Amenadiel, and they do not look anything like they do in the television show. This is Maze from the Lucifer comic book I've just read. And now this is Maze from the television show. And here we have Amenadiel from the comic book. And then here we have Amenadiel from the television show. These actors look nothing like their characters from the comic book. Not saying that's a bad thing, I'm always open to new interpretations of things, but not even close. Lucifer was sort of close, but these 2, not at all. Now let's get back to the comic book. Did you guess that the moody teenager and the brother that can't take care of himself were going to end up meeting Lucifer? Because I certainly did. Oh, and look, it happened. Here we see a form of Lucifer's "what do you desire" power. He says, then perhaps it's drawn to silence. Perhaps it's hovered over him long enough to sense your desire. And the moody teenager says, my what? And Lucifer says, your desire, when you wished him dead. Long story short is that Lucifer has really just told her what's what and what she's really wanted this whole time, and she just tells him to go to hell because she can't deal with the truth. And then he ends up disappearing and goes, you guessed it, hell. Unfortunately, that's all we really get for this comic. It's, just a preview to try to get you hooked on the comic book. It was released right before the show. The first season of the show came out, I'm pretty sure. So it's to get people that are hyped for the show, you get on the hype for the comic book as well. Fortunately for me, I am actually starting to collect this series so I can read the full thing. And I will be definitely reading the full thing. I don't know if I'll review every single issue, probably not. But I am certainly excited to get to read more. The show and the comic book are very, very different, though. I started watching the show when it came out in January of 2015, and I've been watching since. Unfortunately, the ratings took a big, big drop in Season 2, and then they still went ahead with Season 3 anyways, but the show has been canceled, unfortunately, after 3 seasons. They're hoping with this new petition, #SaveLucifer and #PickUpLucifer, that it will be picked up for a 4th season by some other network. Not Fox, obviously, but hopefully that it'll get picked up. However, one major difference from the television show and the comic book is that the television show for the past 3 years has really followed this kind of unspoken thing between Lucifer and Chloe. They've been, I guess you could say, partners for quite some time, and in the comic book there isn't even a mention of Chloe Decker. I think this comic was actually pretty good, though, for just a sneak preview sort of thing. It's definitely got that just right amount of I've hooked you, so I want you to read the second issue. And I'm assuming those are going to be good because I don't think they would make a TV show out of a shit comic book. But I am certainly excited to be reading the rest of this series. So, me doing these reviews is a relatively newer thing. I'm hoping I can continue with them because I certainly enjoy doing them. It was fun reviewing this Lucifer comic book. Joseph Naraki, a good friend of mine, has given me this idea to just review comic books because I know a lot about them. And the Lucifer comic book is one that I don't know a ton of. I have watched the show. I've seen every single episode a few times, I'd say, and I'm a big fan of the show. So now it's really cool for me to be able to, read where it came from. It's, loosely based off of the comic book, but the show's great and the comic book is really good so far. I guess I can't make a opinion on the series because I haven't read anything aside from this first issue yet, but if I had to rate this comic book, I would probably rate it... This is a difficult one because it's so little, and they have so much more to tell, honestly. They've made 3 years of this show, and there's, I don't know how many comic books, but there's a lot, I know. So there's just tons to go off of and tons to make your own, which I think is really cool. They, bringing in these characters like Dan and Linda and Chloe, and Trixie, bringing these in from, just their imagination and not the comic book. Maybe they'll pop in later in the comic book, who knows, but so far it just looks like they aren't in the comic. I am definitely looking forward to reading more, and now I'm going to say it, the rating. I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10, because, maybe a 6 out of 10. Feeling generous. I'm hoping that the television show gets picked up by another network for season 4, and I'm very much looking forward to reading more of Lucifer. I highly recommend just, check it out. I got this one for $1 at my local comic store, so it's a great one. You should read it for yourself. There's some things I didn't really go over in there. I just talked about the differences and, just sort of the cliche things. But I'm going to try to work more on these and, highlighting certain things, and I'll try to be a little more entertaining by being more funny. Yeah, but hopefully you'll stick around for the next one. I have no idea what the next comic book will be, but enjoy. Thanks. I'll see you guys later.